Good afternoon, Wahawks. It's Wednesday, January 9th, a day, and we have noticed a lot of sick Wahawks lately. So we here at WTV have decided to remind all of you about good hygiene and ways to stay healthy.
There's a lot of debate about why people catch more colds in the winter than in the summer, and we have the answer.
It's not because germs multiply more in cold weather, like Miss Schramm mistakenly thought.
It's also not from going back and forth from cold to hot weather, as Miss Jen mistakenly thought.
It's actually because people tend to stay indoors when the temperatures get colder. This allows people to be in closer contact with each other and therefore makes it easier to pass the virus from person to person. So Miss Mosina was right.
Although recent studies have shown that going into colder temperatures does lower your immune system a bit, which means that Miss Jen was not entirely wrong.
As you can tell, it gets pretty serious here at WTV. Anyway, let's move on to some announcements, and in between we'll give you some tips to stay healthy.
You know what is really healthy? Exercising. Studies show that regular exercise during the winter months can reduce the number of sick days you take by about 40%. And speaking of exercise, you can get some great exercise through ballroom dancing. It's a new LEAP activity offered every Tuesday throughout the month of January.
Outside of music affecting the brain as an emotional experience, it's also a physical experience. Listening to music can create peak emotions, which can increase the amount of dopamine, a specific neurotransmitter that is produced in the brain helps control the brain's rewards and pleasure centers, which makes you feel good and can reduce stress and increase health.
And you're in luck because the members of the orchestra are going to be playing the national anthem at the Saints hockey game on Saturday, February 2nd. George Washington Middle School is selling tickets to the game for just $15 each. All proceeds from ticket sales directly support our music programs here at Washington. See Mrs. Mintz in the orchestra room for an order form today. All orders and money are due to Mrs. Deckline in the office by January 18th. Hope to see you there.
And don't forget your Band is a Blast and orchestra t-shirts. Orders are due soon to the main office. See Miss Mentz and Miss Stevens for details.
In order to boost your immune system, you should also think about eating foods that are high in vitamin C. So include fruits and veggies in your diet. I am also going to include cheeseburgers, chili, and Frosties into that mix. I know it won't help my immune system, but it's great comfort, and I can get it all at Wendy's night this coming Monday from 5 to 7 p.m. at the Wendy's on JFK. You should all join me.
It also helps VPA, and speaking of VPA, you should sign up to work on crew for this year's production of Seussical. The informational meeting will be held on Wednesday, January 23rd from 2:30 to 3 p.m. in the auditorium. It will keep you busy during those winter months when you may start to feel depressed due to inactivity.
Mark your calendars for the next school dance on Thursday, January 31st. Correction from yesterday, the dance will be from 6:30 to 8:30. The entire Wahawk community is welcome to come and dance to the music. This school dance is a perfect time to be with friends and your fellow classmates.
Being kind and having a positive mindset can affect your mood, which directly affects your health. So showing WASH values is actually good for your health. So keep getting those value stickers, and remember to write your first and last name on the back before you turn them into the LRC.
Thanks, Wahawks. Now we have a humble request. We need tissues for your snotty noses. If you feel so inclined, we would love to have some tissue donations to help us get through the cold and flu season. And speaking of tissues, do not use tissues to throw away your gum. Put it in some scrap paper instead and save the tissues for the noses.
Now, as you're all taking our tips for staying healthy, don't forget to wish the following Wahawks a very happy birthday. Brandon Nieder, Mania Parker, and Mason Little are all celebrating today. Happy birthday.
One last tip before we close with the thought of the day. Make sure to wash your hands frequently. Studies show that proper hand washing can reduce your risk of catching a virus by 89%.
And now for the thought of the day. The greatest wealth is health. Have a healthy day, Wash.